Space games are some of the most fun games to be made. Full stop. I think games like No Man's Sky, Jump Space, Starfield, some of the most fun on the market. There's no other genre that fills our sense of curiosity the way that these games do. Some of them come out and they're flops. Some of them are great. Some of them take a little more time in the oven. Today we're going to be looking at Jump Space, formerly known as Jump Ship. It's out at the $20 price point in early access. The question is that $20 worth it? Is it worth your time checking out? We're going to get into that. My name is Vault Zero. I love playing space games. I play No Man's Sky primarily, but I also play Starfield as well as Jump Space. So let's get into it. I want to preface this video as one of my first kind of like review videos of games. Um, I want to be fair. This game is in early access. I don't want to come across like I hate it because I do really enjoy the game, but I do have to review the game for what it is currently and not what I think it could be 6 months to a year down the road. That being said, let's get into what is Jump Space. Jump Space was pitched to us as a solo to up to 4 player co-op shooter where you explore the outer reaches of space, the debris minefields, the enemy strongholds that you encounter in the expanse. The story is that humanity is a space-faring civilization, but our technology has gone a bit rogue. It has been infected with a virus that has caused it to turn against us. Uh, if you want an example of what the game is supposed to be, it's a lot like Sea of Thieves. A space version of Sea of Thieves is the one way that I kept hearing the game being described. And to be fair, I think that's a very accurate representation of what the game is supposed to be in terms of scope and vision. I do really, really like that idea. I'm a big fan of Sea of Thieves. I I don't want to come in too early with criticisms. I think in that vision, it's respectable, and that vision would make a very fun game. Um, for some reason, I guess in early access, not a lot of people, at least on console, are really giving this game a try. Um, Even when you look at Steam, the Steam charts are way down. Like we're getting maybe 5,000 players at best touching this game, and that leads to a really, really bad experience. The game can be played solo, but that's where a lot of my experience with this game comes in. A lot of the reviews that I've seen are early impressions since this is early access. I don't want to say reviews because this is early access. A lot of those early access impressions are people who have played with squads full of people. And this impression video is not going to be that because I've played, despite it being in the game's intention, a vastly different game. Combat is fun. The weapons feel good. I enjoy them. I think there's a good variety of weapons. I'm not that far in, but I do understand that there are tiered weapons with more attachments and things like that. Any Destiny players that are watching this video right now hear tiered loot and they're having PTSD. I apologize to you guys for that one. But yeah, I think combat is fun, especially when the game gets hectic. Uh, Something I've just recently started to experience is how chaotic the game can be at a little bit of higher difficulties. I hadn't played past easy yet. I haven't unlocked that kind of difficulty, but I have encountered some moments that have been pretty hectic. I had a mission I did the other day where I got to the end, collected my loot, got ready to step on the teleporter to teleport back to the ship. Teleporter was broken, and Iris says, "Hey, it's a trap. You got to get out of there before enemy forces close in on you and start attacking the ship." So I'm running through the hallways, dodging enemy fire from these robots, trying to hurry back to the ship because I know manning this big ass ship by yourself is pretty hard to do. Trying to repair all the shields, trying to fire the cannons, it's tough. It's challenging solo. Um, and that's a double-edged sword. It's fun to be challenging, but at the same time, I can imagine at higher difficulties, solo would be very frustrating. Uh, that being said, there is another ship that you can unlock. It's the Dart. I can't remember the full name. I just know the Dart for short. but it is a smaller ship, kind of like the sloop in Sea of Thieves, a smaller ship, making it easier for solo or smaller crews to man. I think that is a really neat addition. I hope they continue to add different ships into the game and different attachments, which I'm sure they will. The story, we're going to get into it. The story, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like it. I Most games that I get into for story. I'm going to bring up another space exploration game that is my favorite of all time, and it's the exception to the rule when it comes to story. No Man's Sky does not have a good story. It's there for people who want to enjoy it, and I'm normally a lore hound, but it allows you to really imprint on your character, and it's like, hey, the story's here if you care about it, but this is who you are, whoever you want to be. You make your own story, and this game is again would be great with friends or a squad of people where you can kind of have those crazy moments and tell those stories of what happened to you a week ago, a month ago, or whatnot. But unfortunately, as small as the player pool is at current, I just find those kind of situations to be non-existent. And the story that is there is very. I know it's early in the life cycle of the game, so it's not a fair criticism to say that the story is bare bones. But I just don't like how the story is presented. The story itself is not a bad concept, but the way it's presented, I don't enjoy. It's just like a slideshow of still images explaining what's going on. I do hope they add a different presentation into the game for story because I think it could be interesting. But at current, it's just not. Um, I don't know how. For some constructive feedback, I think how I would fix the story is I would at least add small cutscenes. Um, they don't have to be big. I'm not familiar with how. You guys let me know in the comments if you guys are familiar with 1047 and what size team they're running. I might have to do a little bit more research on that. Um, I do think the game is impressive for what it is. It's only a $20 price point. I just wish that they would like their execution for the story. I wish was better. I think. Um, Moving on from there, let's talk about a little bit about the enemies. And I do think that the enemies are fun to fight. I think the idea of having our technology turn on us is interesting, and fighting through these, they can wall up you. They can do some damage, and combine them with the modifiers, I should say, the disasters that you can run into, the comet storms, things like that. It makes for some fun. It really does. Of course, I haven't gotten to play a whole lot of that myself. I'm still fairly early on in the game, but the one thing, the critique I will say about the enemies is I don't think there's enough variety. Uh, you say that our technology is turned against us, and now we're fighting the Legion, as they're called. It would be neat to see different enemy types, more variety, more combat variety in their strategies and their AI. It would be cool to see them, flank you, try to flush you out of cover, new abilities for the existing Legion troops. That would be fun to encounter. I think the space combat in this game is where the game really stands out. On foot combat is fun, and it's fun to fight the different units of the Legion as limited variety as they are. But when it comes to space combat, you don't really notice the lack of variety as much. And there are some cool mechanics, such as you can get in your what do they call it? Your little tube that launches you into out of your ship, and you can equip like a rocket launcher or a rail gun, lock onto an enemy fighter, and just blow it to smithereens, and then zip line back to your ship, back to the controls, and resume fighting. It's a really seamless experience, and it's really fun to do. Another critique I want to give the game is its exploration. Doesn't feel rewarding enough, I guess. It's nice to go out and find these chests and find a weapon, a tiered weapon, or find a valuable artifact, or find, something you may need for your ship, that like a shield generator, so that you don't have to repair it. You can just have it with you. Those are nice, but I don't feel like they happen often enough. More often than not, you're running past tons of chests that can't be opened. There's just not a ton of incentive to not fly through these missions. And speaking of flying through the missions, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. As not fleshed out as exploration is, solo the missions still take a long time. I logged on this morning to do a 40-minute mission and quit halfway through because I was 50 minutes in and I still had like another 20 minutes of work to do. So, kind of in closing, some of these criticisms I have for the game are not really the game's fault inherently, because they're problems that are caused by not having a full crew. And I don't blame Jump Space for that. The game has a ton. I don't want anyone to take away this video and think I hate the game. I think it has a ton of potential, and I can't wait to see what it is a year from now. But right now, at $20, I really can't recommend you go out and buy this game. It's just, there's not enough there. It's like Sea of Thieves in its first release, a couple months in. There's not enough content. But I would love to hear what you guys think. I really appreciate you guys for watching. If you liked the video or you learned anything, found it entertaining, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more No Man's Sky and Jump Space. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check the next episode out. It'll be about the future of Jump Space, the upcoming roadmap, broken down in detail. Super excited about it. Like I said, really appreciate you guys for watching. Until next time, guys, I will catch you in the stars.